2,000 years ago, before empires rose and vanished, there was a night almost erased from history. A night that changed the destiny of a young conqueror the world remembers as Alexander, not the warrior, not the king, but the uncertain human who stood alone under a dark, silent sky. It happened during one of his hardest campaigns. The land was unforgiving, rains were heavy, and his army was exhausted after months of marching. Yet the man they believed was chosen by the gods could not sleep. Alexander left his tent quietly and climbed a small hill, looking at the distant fires of his camp. For the first time, doubt crept into his heart. He wondered if his ambition had pushed his men too far. He questioned whether he was following destiny, or simply chasing a dream too big for any mortal. He feared that everything he built might crumble the moment he fell. Even the greatest heroes face moments when their courage trembles. And that night, Alexander faced his own. As he stood lost in thought, footsteps approached. It was one of his oldest companions, a soldier who had walked beside him since before the world knew his name. Seeing Alexander alone, he spoke softly. "The men think you are resting." Alexander smiled faintly. "Kings do not rest," he whispered. His friend replied, "Maybe that is why they fear you." Alexander confessed his guilt. The lives lost, the suffering, the endless march toward a future even he wasn't sure of. His voice shook with a weight no army could carry. His friend listened, then placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Greatness is not in conquering lands. Greatness is in protecting those who trust you." Those words cut through the darkness inside him. Alexander finally understood. Leadership was not glory, but responsibility. Destiny was not a crown, but a choice. Legacy was not an empire, but the people who walked with him. When dawn arrived, the camp awakened to a changed commander. His eyes were steady, his purpose renewed. The men felt his strength, not in his armor, but in his clarity. They followed him, not because he was a legend, but because he was a leader who carried their hopes. That forgotten night did not appear in scrolls or chronicles, yet it shaped every decision he made afterward. It reminds us that even the strongest hearts face fear. Even the greatest leaders feel doubt. True strength is not the absence of fear. True strength is choosing to go on despite it. Alexander's empire faded with time, but the lesson of that night survives. The greatest victory any person can achieve is the victory over themselves.